Hi there, this is Chris, chap in the cap, Motolegends. Bit different today. What we're going to do is talk about a commuting suit, a suit that you could also wear for touring, but primarily a commuting suit for under £1,000. Now, right now we're still in lockdown, we're still a couple of weeks away from the shops opening, but we're getting lots of inquiries from people about outfits that they can wear post-lockdown because they are considering commuting into work. Now, disappointingly, the government hasn't shown a great interest in motorcycling as a way of getting into work, but it's clear to us that a lot of people will be looking at motorcycling as a solution, because the big thing is a lot of people want to avoid public transport and being closed in with lots of other people. A bike is going to be faster, cheaper, and certainly less polluting than a car. And of course, when you're on the bike, it is totally self-isolating. Now, if you're going to commute daily into work, you do need a proper outfit, because a suit that you're going to be wearing every day is going to take, however long your commute, it's going to take a fair amount of abuse. So in the coming weeks, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about suits at different price points. Today is about £1,000 price point, but I think we're going to then look at £1,500, £2,000, and then we may look at one, if money is no object, what is the very best commuting suit out there. What we're looking for in terms of a suit, as far as this grand is concerned, is we want a jacket with connecting pants, we want a helmet and boots and gloves. We want it all to be obviously CE approved. Now, I feel sure that if you shopped around, you could get a suit for less than £1,000. But bear in mind, this isn't a weekend ride-out outfit, this is daily commuting. If you spend too little, you will find that the gear just won't work, it will leak, it will fall apart, zips will come away, and so on. So be careful if you're going to commute. It's a false economy in our view, spending too little. Anyway, for this £1,000, what we've done, we've allocated amounts of money across the products we need. So we've allocated about £500 for a suit, £250 for a helmet, £150 for a pair of boots, and £100 for a pair of gloves. So let's go off, let's look around, and let's see what we can do for £1,000. The problem with a complete outfit for £1,000 is that here at Motolegends, we haven't really done a £500 suit. Historically, even a couple of years ago, we would have felt that you needed to spend between £750 and £850 to get a suit that was good enough for reliable daily commuting. At £500, we would have taken the view that there were just too many compromises on fit, compromises on safety, on features, and importantly on reliability, because if you're going to be commuting every day, you are going to be giving your gear a lot of abuse. That has changed somewhat with the arrival of an incredible suit from Risha. This is the suit, and it's called the Infinity Pro 2. Now, probably the most amazing feature of this suit, especially given the price point, is that it's not a drop liner suit, it's a laminated suit. Now, for those of you who don't understand these things, lamination is where you have the waterproof membrane up against the outer fabric. In most suits, 95% of suits, you've got the outer fabric and you've got a independently suspended waterproof membrane. The benefit of lamination is that water cannot soak into the fabric, so it doesn't reach a stage that we call wet out. Now, that's really important if you're commuting. Depends on the length of your commute, but let's say you ride into work, it's a 45-minute commute, it pours down all the way, rains really heavily. If you've got a drop liner suit, there's a good chance that when you come to go home in the evening, that suit is still going to be damp. Similar thing in the evening, if you ride home in torrential rain, that suit, unless you aired it and dried it properly, will still be damp in the morning. But if you've got a laminated suit, that won't happen. Now, this kind of technology for this kind of money would have been unthinkable, impossible just a couple of years ago. In terms of this suit and some of the details on it, if you want to look at the suit in a bit more detail, there is a review on YouTube and on our YouTube channel of the suit that's going to be a lot more detailed than this. But in terms of the suit, it has what Risha call a touring fit. Now, we're going to come back and talk about fit at the end of this review, but they say it's not a sporting fit, but it does come up a little bit tight. But as I say, we'll talk about that in a minute. You get lots of adjusters on the suit, so you've got a very effective adjusting belt here on the waist, you've got adjusters on the hem, you've got adjusters around the sleeves as well. You've got good venting. Vents work particularly well on a laminated suit, because when you have a hole in a laminated suit, it goes right through to the body. So you've got vents here on the chest, you've got vents up the arms, you've got D3O armour throughout this suit, including in the jacket in the back. which is unusual, particularly at this price point. In the pants, because the matching pants are called the Colorado pants, rather confusingly, you do not get hip armor, but you do get knees. Obviously, it zips together. Now, for £500, we just don't think there's anything else that's close. You're going to need to spend a lot more money to get anywhere near the features you get on this suit, to get anywhere near this kind of technology. Normally, as I've suggested, we would reckon that a £500 suit just would not be up to the job, particularly not if you wanted a laminate suit. But this is Risha. We know Risha well. Risha are renowned for punching above their weight, but importantly, as far as we're concerned, Risha have a Gore-Tex license. Now, when you work with Gore basically show you how to make a laminated suit. They look at your designs, they inspect them before they go to market. So any company that works with Gore knows how to make laminate work. So even though this is a relatively or a very inexpensive suit, we believe that because of everything that Risha has learnt from Gore, it's a suit that's going to be reliable. This suit really will keep you dry. Now, I want to come back now to sizing because there is a bit of an issue here. I'm going to call Sean on. Sean, next one over. So a couple of things. The outfit goes from a size small right up to a 6XL now. 5 and 6XL have only recently come into stock, but they are now available. That's a 38-inch chest right up technically to a 54-inch chest. In terms of the trousers, they go from a 30-inch waist to a 44-inch waist. So that's quite a wide array of sizes. And also, again, amazing for a suit at this price. There are options. As we record this, they're not in stock, but they're coming soon. There's options for a short, obviously this is a regular leg, a short and a long leg. So this suit is going to fit a huge array of people. But in terms of the sizing, we think that you need to go one size up on the size that's indicated even on our website, because we have put up on our website the sizing that Risha have given us, and we think that is too tight. I mean, Sean, you normally wear a medium in Risha in the ARC suit?
Yeah.
Okay. And what have you done in this?
Large top and large bottoms. I do fit in the other sizes, but I would say that they're too snug a fit for me to be comfortable on a motorbike. So I've gone for one size up.
And certainly I think if you're commuting, you're going to want to have the option to put some layers underneath if you're commuting through the winter. So our view is look at your size on our website or on Risha's website. Just for safety, go one size up, because there's nothing worse if you're going to have to commute every day having a suit that's too tight, too uncomfortable. So in terms of the suits part of this exercise, we've come in bang on budget. We allocated £500. We have got a fantastic laminated suit for 500 quid. So within this exercise of a complete commuting suit for £1,000, we had nominally allocated £250 for a helmet. Now what we're not going to do is recommend an open face helmet. Frankly, that would be cheating, because it's not difficult to find an open face for less than 250. But if you're going to be commuting daily, that's going to put up the risk level somewhat. Something will happen one day. You want to be properly protected, and you won't be in an open face helmet. The other issue that we have here at Motolegends is that we don't really like cheap helmets. Of all the areas where you can afford to compromise, helmets is not one of them. Unfortunately, the budget counts out some of our favourite helmets from brands like Shui, Arai and Schubert. Now, we wouldn't ride in, and we don't really sell helmets below £200. And what that is doing is narrowing the field somewhat. There aren't a lot of helmets out there that meet this criteria, that give us the safety we want for the budget 250. Clearly we want a flip lid or a full face helmet. We want something serious, so we're not looking at anything retro here. You need a proper helmet. We want something that, because you're going to be riding every day, it's got to be comfortable. Safety is going to be paramount. We want decent field of vision. We want venting. We want to make sure that it's a helmet where there's not going to be rain ingress if it's pouring with rain. It would be really nice to have a drop-down sun visor. We want something that isn't going to fog. So our choice is the Evo ES from Shark, and it's this helmet. Now technically, white is the cheapest colour. This comes in at £270, so it's put us £20 over budget, but that's not a big deal as far as we're concerned. We'll try and find a way of catching up later. It is a perfect commuting helmet because it's a full face in this configuration, but let's say you're riding into town when you're doing 20, 30 miles an hour in traffic on a hot day, when you're getting close to the office or your place of work, you flip this and that gives you a proper open face. So this helmet, this concept, gives you the perfect open face and the perfect full face. In fact, it's much better than the average open face because you've got this extended chin bar here, so if something were to happen, you are more protected than you are in a standard open face helmet. Now, one little trade secret is that this is the least expensive helmet within Shark's Evo range, but it's actually the best. It's a complicated story. We've got, if you wanted to know the full story, we have a review on the Shark Evo S on our YouTube channel, but this version has a anti-fog visor rather than a pin lock. The pin lock has created all kinds of problems for this helmet over the years. So this is actually the best version. It's the most reliable version. It's the least expensive version. It's not going to work on everybody, however, because it's got a shape that's quite round. So if you've got a very long oval head, it just might not work. It's also a helmet that gives you a bit of a squeeze in the cheeks. Now, some people put this helmet on and they just can't live with it because it's unlike any other helmet you've ever worn. But actually, if you get used to it, it works really well. It gives you lots of protection. It's a really good open face helmet. So if you're looking for a helmet that you can commute in, £250 is the budget. I think this is one that's worth looking at. And if it doesn't suit you immediately, just persevere because it's a great lid. So that's where we are. In this colour, as I've said, it's £270. We're £20 over. Let's see if we can make that up on either a pair of boots or a pair of gloves. The budget for a pair of boots is £150. Now, we're not talking about a pair of boots here for the weekend. We're not so bothered about looking cool. It's not even about walking comfort. When you're commuting, you may find that you've got a bit of a walk from wherever you park the bike to wherever it is you work, but the emphasis is on protection. And you're going to be more protected if you're commuting every day with what we call a full height boot. We also want the boots to be a waterproof boot. Now, obviously that's because it's nice to have dry feet if it's pouring with rain. But the other thing is that a waterproof boot is going to be a warmer boot because a waterproof membrane is a windproof membrane. And if you've got a membrane in the boot on a really cold day with the wind chill factor at 50, 60 miles an hour, your feet can get very cold. A membrane is going to make a huge amount of difference. This boot is the TCX X5 and I think it's amazing at this price, it's a Gore-Tex boot. Now, the Gore-Tex membrane is arguably the best. Boots made with, or all clothing made with Gore-Tex is more thoroughly tested, so products with Gore-Tex tend to be a little bit more reliable. You also get, technically, and it's quite a complicated issue, but you get a lifetime warranty on the membrane. If you've worn through the membrane or damaged it, it doesn't count, but there is a peace of mind that comes with any boot that has a Gore-Tex membrane. If we just have a quick look at the boot, it's got all of the things that you would expect. It's got a full height zip here. You've got the waterproof gusset, so the waterproofing goes up to this level. You've got hard protectors on the toe, the ankles and the heel. You've got an articulation panel here that just makes the boot a little bit more comfortable. You've got a gear change panel. You've got an anti-slip sole. And even though the spec doesn't suggest that this has a shank in the sole, I can assure you that this is an incredibly strong boot. So if the worst happened and someone drove over your foot, this boot certainly feels as though it's up to the job. So it's got everything that you would expect in a boot. Now, this boot was originally produced, I think it's available in other markets now, but it was originally produced for the UK market to hit a price point. That price point is £159.99. I've got to say, you will not find a better value boot anywhere on the market, particularly given that this is a Gore-Tex boot. The problem is that £159.99 takes us another £10 over our budget, so it looks as though we're going to have to make a bit of a compromise on gloves, but really £159.99 for a Gore-Tex commuting and touring boot, you can't really argue with that. So the last item that we're looking for within our £1,000 commuting suit is a pair of gloves. Now, I've gone a little bit over budget on helmet. We had allocated £250. The Evo AS was £270. The boots we had allocated £150. We went to £160. So that leaves us only £70 for a pair of gloves. So we're going to have to compromise a little bit. All of the gear that you wear when you're commuting is important, but it is particularly unpleasant to ride with cold and wet hands. And what happens is, if your hands get cold, you're riding along, particularly in the winter, the wind chill factor makes the effective temperature, the perceived temperature, incredibly low. It is just not a nice feeling. So we don't want to compromise too much, as it were. Now, there are 3 styles of glove in the market, and if you end up taking to commuting in a big way and you decide to commute all year round, then you're going to probably need more than 1 pair of gloves. And what the experienced commuters have will be a pair of winter gloves for the winter, obviously. They'll have a summer glove for high days in the summer where it's really warm. And then for a large part of the year, they will wear what's called a summer waterproof glove. A summer waterproof glove is a lighter weight glove. It will have a membrane, so you don't get wet, but also the membrane will keep your hand warmer. But you don't have any thermal lining, so your hands are not going to sweat and become awfully sticky in the middle of the summer. So that's what we're looking for, a summer waterproof glove. Now, we've gone for the latter because it's the only one that you can ride all year round. We would suggest that if you are going to commute, that you get a pair of heated grips. Now, many bikes have got heated grips, but if they don't have heated grips, the best investment that you can make for commuting is a pair of cheap heated grips from someone like Oxford. I think they're £80. They are fantastic. They've got about a zillion heat settings. They will burn your hand. It is a fantastic investment, and I have to say, even though we don't sell Oxford's heated grips, that's a better investment for keeping your hands warm than an extra £80 in a pair of gloves. Now, our favourite glove would be this glove from Halvarsens. It's called the Beast glove. It is a summer waterproof glove, but it's got an extra component. It's called Outlast. Outlast is a really clever material. It will cool you down in the summer. It will give you some thermal in the winter. And I have a feeling that when I go on to do a commuting suit for £1,500 or even £2,000, I might well end up with this same glove. It is a fantastic glove. But from this particular outfit, I've got to exclude it because even though it's great value at £99, that would take us £30 over budget, and that's not what this exercise is about. The glove we've chosen, therefore, is the Orbit glove from Halvarsens. Now, this comes in at £80. That still takes us £10 over, and I'm sorry about that, but I think £10 is an acceptable margin for error. It's a reliable glove. It's a comfortable glove. It won't let you down. It does what it says on the tin. It's got a waterproof membrane. Being Halvarsens, it's got a layer of a material they call high art in the palm that increases the strength of the palm in terms of abrasion resistance. It's got a hard knuckle protector. You've got accordion stretch panels, protectors on the minor knuckles. You've got everything you need. It's perfectly up to the job. Would this be a nicer glove? Yes, in the winter it certainly would be. But if you've got a pair of heated grips, then this is going to be fine right through to perhaps only the very, very coldest days. So that's it. That's a full suit for £1,010, so no problem. That still leaves you £490 to go out and buy a motorcycle. I have to say, I'm pretty pleased with the way this has turned out. A complete commuting outfit for under £1,000 is no mean achievement, and I think we've got some great gear here. Now, with the suit itself, the Infinity Pro 2, it's a fabulous suit, but there are some compromises involved. In really cold weather, for example, you are going to need some extra layers. It's a well-vented suit because it's laminated, it's very waterproof, and it's not going to wet out. But you do not get rucker quality for £500. The top of the range rucker suit, the Nivala, is £2,000. So clearly there's a trade-off. And if you're doing a commute of, say, 5,000 to 10,000 miles a year, I think this suit is very much up to the job. But if you end up doing 15 to 20,000 miles a year, this suit just will not stand up to that kind of daily punishment. But we take the view that if you are doing that kind of commute, the savings that you're making in terms of time and public transport costs and so on are so great that you just need to dig a wee bit deeper. This suit is not up to that kind of commute. The helmet, I think, is a great choice. Now, it's a favourite helmet for commuters in Europe, in places like Paris and Milan. A lot of the scooterists wear this kind of helmet because it gives you the benefits of a full face, and then when you get into town, you've got an open face. It's a favourite with the European police forces, so I think that is a great value lid. The boots, TCX, is a fine brand, and to find a TCX boot that is Gore-Tex for the money we did, 160, you just can't ask for more than that. The gloves, you're eventually going to need more than one pair, but the Orbit is a great place to start. It's an inexpensive glove, a great value glove, so I have no issues with the Orbit. If you look at this outfit, however, and think, I'm prepared to go one stage higher and spend a little bit more, then in the coming weeks, or coming days I hope, we're going to be doing a similar exercise with £1,500 suits, with £2,000 suits and so on, as I've mentioned before. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if your budget stretches only to £1,000, then I don't think you can go wrong with any of the gear that we've recommended today. So we hope you liked our thinking about a commuting suit for under £1,000. If you want to look at more suits, obviously visit the website motolegends.com. If you want to learn more about this particular set of products, then if you click on one of the links on the screen, sometimes they're up there, sometimes they're down there, that will take you to a page where we've got those 5 products put together. There you can check out availability, you can check out the spec in a little bit more detail, and obviously if you like all or any of these products, you can buy them there and then. Now when you buy from us, we try to make the process as simple, straightforward and risk-free as we possibly can. There's no delivery charge on any protective wear that you buy from us. Returns are totally free, and what's more, we give you a full 12 months in which to decide whether you do want to return something to us. We have the best price guarantee in the business. Now John Lewis is rightly famed for its never knowingly undersold price promise. We go one stage better. If you find a retailer selling anything that we sell at a price that is lower than ours, we will beat that retailer's price by a full 10%. If the retailer is in the EU, however, and not in the UK, we will match their price. Now, there are a few terms and conditions, nothing particularly onerous, but if you are going to price beat us, then I suggest you visit the website and check out what those terms and conditions are. Now, if you would like to receive information about new products from us in future, then if you go to the website, at the top of every page there's a piece of script that says newsletter sign up. If you click on there, within seconds you'll be in business. In future, you will get email bulletins from us. If, however, you would prefer to get your information videographically, that is to say in this form, then we would be simply delighted if you wanted to become a subscriber to our YouTube channel, which you can do by clicking on the button below. Now this is 2020, and before the end of the year, we're going to be giving away a motorbike to a YouTube subscriber. It's a Steve McQueen tribute bike, that's what we're calling it. It's based on a Mutz 50cc machine. It's a lovely little cutie. You can read all about it on the front page of our website or on the home page of our YouTube channel. Finally, I'd like to make a play for our fabulous little shop here in Guildford. We're based about a mile from the centre of Guildford, a mile from the town centre. The footprint of the shop is quite small, but it's attached to our warehouse where we have more than £2 million worth of stock arranged on 3 floors. Technically makes us the second largest motorcycle apparel shop in the UK. But we think that we are far more than just the amount of merchandise we have here in the building. We're all about service, we're all about personal fitting. If you want to check us out, visit Trustpilot. We have the highest 5-star ranking in the business. When you come and see us, we will serve only the finest Italian illy coffee or proper Yorkshire tea served in a proper teapot. And who knows, if you're lucky, you might even get one of Sean's mum's delicious motorcycle-shaped shortbread biscuits. Anyway, this has been Chris. I hope to talk to you again soon.